It proved this was never just a passing PR stunt.
John no mi tuɗa nder ɗum ɗo fop ɗum ɗo fo waɗi déjà yo impact jano wonwe leydi ndin e nder ɗi mbuɗi ɗi ɓe joni wiyen tun joni ɓeɗa 30 millions pour 3 ans au fait pour 3 ans et comment on appelle Paris 12 millions par an contrat menda ko duɓi jelɓe signi. Mais avec tout ça, Johnny Ben non fo no mari école de football, di académie de football, ka pays maɓɓe. Ɗandi ko combien de stars déjà ako Saudi me woni wadde kon ko Qatar me woni wadde kon ɓe latirde football on kama et parce que ɓe ɗaari ɓe tawi au fait mbuɗɗin ka woni ɗon kaka au fait kaka football parce que football no ɓuri sport ji ɗin ka aduna ɗo fof ndaarede. Donc déjà non hay si a waɗu ɗon tun a wi ɗon joni par exemple mi jalna on ɓay koyen fulɓe sa waɗi ɗo joni lacciri e kosan no weeli andi ɗum ɗon tun aroy ɗo guine o sooda lacciri e kosan tawi ce que je veux dire na non fi joni école de football ji ɗin ka maɓɓe ko pay koye jeeloy wonita ɗo superstar ɗin mbuji ɗi ɓe heɓoyta ɗon ka maɓɓe kadi ɓe artirta ɗi tawi ce que je veux dire donc andi jawdi ko ɓe au fait, mijo mako on c'est pour l'éternité, même pas pour 10 ans ou bien 20 ans, c'est pour l'éternité.
And Bayern Munich runs one too. The sleeve was the
Bayern,
showroom.
Paris.
The academy is a long game. With the blueprint proven, Rwanda scaled the strategy even further, breaking into a third major European league. In August 2023, they partnered with German giant Bayern Munich, a deal worth around 5 million euros a year, primarily Allianz Arena LED branding, plus the FC Bayern Academy in Kigali. Though today they've restructured to focus on the FC Bayern Academy in Kigali. Then, in April 2025, they conquered La Liga, locking hands with Atletico Madrid as the club's
first ever African partner. First ever. Première fois dans l'histoire africaine, tawata Atletico de Madrid signe des Africains. Même pas un pays, hein, juste sponsorisé comme Mago Lungo. C'est énorme.
Ever African partner. That partnership put the Visit Rwanda logo across the back of both the men's and women's match jerseys through June 2028. 4 leagues: Premier League, Ligue 1, Bundesliga, and La Liga. One country's logo on all of them. Then came the moment that made history. In the 2025-2026 Champions League, all 4 Visit Rwanda partner clubs reached the semi-finals together: Arsenal, PSG, Atletico.
Ɓe créé histoire. First time. Déjà c'est la première fois. Club ji nayi. Déjà hay ɗiɗi tun club ji nayi. Au fait mo marɗo sponsorisation goto. Il y a demi-finale après finale.
First. And Bayern Munich. First time in history, a single tourism board appeared on multiple semi-finalists in the world's biggest club tournament season. Now, it's worth noting that Bayern's role is a bit different, focusing on that permanent youth academy rather than jersey or LED branding, but the alliance remains rock solid. Notice who's missing from that list. Real Madrid and Barcelona. Rwanda never signed either. Why? Real Madrid's main shirt with Emirates is worth around 70 million euros a year. Barcelona's main shirt sponsors run between 70 and 90 million. Rwanda's combined annual spend across all 4...
T'as vu? Au fait, déjà, stratégie comme o jaɓali signe dugol e club ji ɓurete ɗi ndaarede ma club ji ɓuret ɗi yiɗede ma club ji ɓuri ɗin sattude par ce que joni ɓeɗo kamɓe sponsorisation maɓɓe on kamɓe ono Emirates Real Madrid c'est quelque chose de 70 millions d'euros 70 millions d'euros kanko non avec déjà peu de ça club ji makko ɗi wawi yaade déjà hay final Real Madrid e Barcelone no ka wurgo ko ɗum wiyata honno faamu n'est-ce pas?
Four of its European partners sits between 35 and
90
$45
millions avec
million.
le Barça.
For roughly half the cost of one Real Madrid shirt sponsorship, Rwanda got brand presence on 4 elite clubs.
Ala Liga, e nder ɗin contrat ji e nder ni sponsor ji koɓe signi di contrat e ɗin pays ji ɗo nayi non c'est entre Dielo o wi 35 millions à 42 millions donc déjà non Real Madrid tun ko 70 millions.
For roughly half the cost of one Real Madrid shirt sponsorship, Rwanda got brand presence on 4 elite clubs across 4 of the 5 biggest leagues in Europe. They didn't fight for the front of the shirt. They bought the sleeve, the back, the training kit, the pitch side LED, every piece of inventory the famous clubs didn't bother to sell expensively. Then they let those clubs compete for trophies on Rwanda's behalf, which brings us to the ultimate question. What does Rwanda actually get for all that money? If you look at the major headlines, like the explosive reports from The Guardian marking the conclusion of their historic 8-season run with Arsenal, or watch the deep dive breakdowns covering the latest developments of the strategy, it's easy to assume the narrative is straightforward. But believe me, almost everyone has got this exit completely wrong, and I'll show you why. Before we break down the massive controversy that kept the football world talking, let's first uncover exactly how lucrative the deal was in the first place. By the way, just take a quick second to hit that like button and subscribe to Arisen now. We've got some incredible stories just like this lined up next, and you won't want to miss a single one. Now, let's look at the full picture. In 2017, the year before the Arsenal deal, Rwanda earned $438 million from tourism. National parks brought in $18.7 million. The MICE sector, that's meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions.
Avant de signer le premier contrat avec Arsenal, déjà, tourisme mapé on connaît qu'on 438 millions à revenu 2017. Ah, Guinée.
Brought in $18.7 million. The MICE sector, that's meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions, the corporate side of travel, generated $42 million. By 2025, total tourism revenue had climbed to $685 million, up 56% from 2017 before the Arsenal partnership.
Wow.
National park earnings more than...
Andy, déjà, 2017, on a 400 et quelques mille. John non dit que kadi 600 et quelques mille ha 2025 600 et quelques millions. Subhanallah.
17 before the Arsenal partnership. National park earnings more than doubled to $40.8 million. Guerrilla tourism alone generated $248 million in linked travel spending. Visitor arrivals hit 1.49 million people in a single year for this landlocked nation. Most interestingly, the visitor profile flipped. In 2017, the biggest spenders were business travelers from the East African region. By 2025, North Americans were spending more in Rwanda per...
Anika, en fait, déjà, avant 2017, on arrive à faire visiter le Rwanda. La plupart du temps, sont des Africains des pays voisins. Mais après, jusqu'à 2025, on arrive à qu'au Amérique du Nord, Johnny pour ta visite le Canada, l'Amérique, Mexique, je ne sais pas. Et Andy Johnny, sa sponsorisation di mappe, d'un Johnny be kadi yimbe go arobe visita ka mappe. Afamika.
North Americans were spending more in Rwanda per quarter than Europeans were spending all year. Over $51 million from US and Canadian visitors in a single quarter of 2024. When we zoom out, we can see the sponsorship didn't start Rwanda's tourism climb on its own. What it did was lift the ceiling on who Rwanda could attract.
Déjà, wana fi mbuɗɗin tumɓe waɗirani ɗum ɗo a faami ko ɓe waɗirani ɗum ɗo kadi ko andugol ko homɓe ɓurata visitugol ɓe ko homɓe aroyta ɓurta visitugol ɓe donc si ɓe andi noon koɓe ɓurta ɓe visitoyde haray joni joni wiyen ɗo joni un exemple hari ko Afrique ɓurta ɓe visitude joni ɓe andi ko Canada e Amérique andi joni ɓe andi hay na Europe joni noon ko honno noon ɓe ko andi à partir de maintenant sponsor ji maɓɓe ɗi wona Europe ɓe ɓurta ɗi basude ko Amérique à partir de là ɓe ƴette kadi ɓe ndaare kadi joni ɓe sponsorisera kadi piiji go États-Unis par ce que ɓe ndaari ɓe tawi ko ɓen ɗon ko Europe déjà ɓe wonno sponsorisude mais wona européen ɓe ɓuri wonde arde ka maɓɓe ko canadien ɓe ɓen et américain ɓe ɓen à partir de là joni so ɓe andi ɗum ɗon noon andi ko toon ɓe nawrata joni sponsor ji maɓɓe ɗin par ce que ko ɓen ɓuri wonde arde ka maɓɓe ayi donc si ɓen joni so ɓe nattiri on sponsor ji ɗin ɓe alano no yiwde ɓe alano narde football ɓen par ce que ɓe wiyay ɗo joni koɓe darde football ɓe woni yiwde Amérique ara joni ko daroɓe basket ɓe sponsorise mawɗo honno club basket andi ɓurtay kadi addude yimɓe ka maɓɓe tu vois c'est
Listen to this New Zealand tourist standing in Rwanda, He says,
I think the main thing, it just kind of reminded me that Rwanda was a place you could visit. I think that some people think of Rwanda and they still think of, the 90s. And so it kind of become an option again.
That's the real product on Ramos's back. Not a logo, a correction.
Déjà, oui, quand Covid, ça me dit que nous Johnny wono vers 90, ami jota ko fi argo Rwanda. Afa mi Johnny wi non Johnny andi ɗo waɗi Rwanda yo jama on heɓu kadi option e Rwanda. Donc a yata awo Johnny sa wiɗo Johnny mi ya Grèce, mi ya Qatar et Dubai. Rwanda no mari option nder to. Ah OK, Afrique, Rwanda. Haystawi déjà a choisi Rwanda sans le savoir parce que tu regardes le foot, nyano nyanda yude dun non psychologiquement ko dun don arta maintenant, mais visite Rwanda. T'as vu? Donc on y option Johnny et der pays fi visiter ding et c'est quelque chose de merveilleux.
According to the RDB, before the Arsenal partnership, 71% of Arsenal's global fans didn't consider Rwanda a tourist destination. After one season of branding, that figure dropped to 50%. After that massive marketing where Arsenal literally brought its top-tier stars down to Rwanda, including Aubameyang, Hector Bellerin, and Bernd Leno, where they named baby gorillas at the Quatre ceremony, with Aubameyang even filming a casual haircut inside a Kigali bar.
Joueur Arsenal ben ko visite no Rwanda des Aubameyang, inde makone matane prononcer de moja. Au fait béton de film de non faut ça, au fait ça inspire, t'as vu, et ça aide et pays en fille au développement.
Leno, where they named baby gorillas at the Quatre ceremony, with Aubameyang even filming a casual haircut inside a Kigali barbershop. And here, David Luiz tracked gorillas in Volcanoes National Park, whereas Tony Adams went on safari, all happening in Rwanda. Each visit cost Rwanda only a fraction of their standard marketing budget while generating millions of organic impressions across social media. But football was never the final business model. It was simply the billboard for a much larger economic strategy. That bigger business has a name, MICE, the meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. In 2017, MICE generated $42 million for Rwanda. By 2025, $94.7 million, more than double. Kigali is now the second.
Wow. MICE na mi fai be mari kono be nata un centre d'événement. Mobe darni déjà ko Kigali ranked Africa's second most popular destination for meetings. Déjà joni haydu tout dernièrement ayan tigi do joni Rwanda en fait kambe tigi joni be hosta événement ji dar des sommets politiques, des sommets comment on appelle foire ji fi affaire société et etc. Comme non buri ni si wi sinami fayu Sud-Afrique o kambe jogiti kambe burta naadu de mbuudi e affaire dim piki don. Enfin, mais juste un centre, tawata, il y a, au fait, si tu as eu Afrique, harako adna l'on faut tata, ou bien le pays les plus développés, ou bien quelque chose qui est déjà, tawata, comme ma faute, que Rwanda, au fait, on a choisi celle. On centre, on tourne à à peu près, maintenant, mais ici, qu'au centre, ici, c'est pas, mais le rôle est yeso. À peu près, Johnny, avant, les sponsors du Dofo, c'est à peu près quelque chose de 400 et quelques millions, mais là, 977, si je ne me trompe pas, attends. Non, non, je m'excuse, 94 millions, 94 millions. Avant, non, Hariko Djelo, attends, on va voir. Hariko 42 millions, mais maintenant, 97 millions. C'est énorme.
94.7 million, more than doubled. Kigali is now the second most popular conference city in Africa, behind only Cape Town. It's clear proof that the massive advertising push worked, especially when you look at the wave of high-profile global summits Rwanda has hosted.
Sommets, les sommets internationaux, les sommets, le FIFA, le
stack up fast.
Tout.
June 2022, the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting drawing leaders from 50 of 53 Commonwealth countries to a single week in Kigali.
Ouais. Plus de 50 pays mawɗo fotti ka maɓɓe en 2022.
November 2023, the World Travel and Tourism Council Global Summit, the first ever held on the African continent.
Wow.
In December 2024, Rwanda hosted the FIA General Assemblies, and Kagame used the stage to formally launch.
déjà taw les gars déjà ko dalde ko fimo hibe fi kambe tigi comment on appelle organise gol comment on appelle course de Formula 1 en Afrique. Rwanda Formula 1. Bon Dieu.
Rwanda's bid to host a Formula One Grand Prix. Then in September 2025, the biggest one. The UCI Road World Championships, cycling's biggest annual event in its 103-year history, came to Africa for the first time.
Andarica, 103e année ou bien 13e année au concours Wadugol au vélo qu'au 2000 combien que Rwanda organise plus de combien de pays? Plus de combien de pays? T'imagines mbudi yimbe arobe visite gol fi tun do hotel ji nyameteji comment on appelle sodugol piji ton harako mo inali localement. Non, c'est ce pays c'est
Ever. Over 1,100 riders, 109 countries. A projected audience of 330 million viewers, all watching the mountains of Rwanda. Every delegate at every one of these events books a hotel, eats in a Kigali restaurant, rides in from the airport. And every one of them was told beforehand that Rwanda is the country on the arsenal sleeve. Foreign direct investment has also surged since 2017. Then, in 2025, global news outlets...
Come hanno con nane quoi. Déjà, projet mappe on kambe e contrat mappe on kambe e Arsenal. Olanni, mais jamano siku de ko yimbe wonno manifestade fi affaire ko Rwanda on e Congo. Be siku de ko dum do wadi ha kango ko wi ko jamano siku de ko dum wadi ha contrat mappe Olanni quoi.
That's reported the same headline. The Arsenal-Rwanda partnership had ended, following years of fan pressure over Rwanda's alleged support for M23 in eastern DRC, claims that UN reports confirmed and the Rwandan Defense Forces eventually acknowledged as a defensive mechanism around its border. But here's where things get even more interesting. Neither Rwanda nor Arsenal stopped or suspended the partnership prematurely. Instead, they simply agreed to conclude it at its natural expiration date, and both said exactly that publicly. Most people assumed the pressure from Arsenal's fan base forced Rwanda out. It did not. The agreement reached its agreed maturity date, no premature exit, no forced conclusion. Then came the second assumption, that Rwanda lost. They did not. In fact, they were already cooking up a new strategy that's even bigger than the Arsenal deal. Let's visualize it.
Déjà, jamaa on seku de bayharay kambe Arsenal contrat maɓɓe o lanni kamɓe ɓe wiwde wono ko jama o woni manifestade ko yo Arsenal au fait yo contrat on yoɓe wanni le contrat maɓɓe on ko ɗum waɗi et puis déjà Rwanda kamɓe ɓe perdi naati ɗo yalti ɗo mais non stratégie maɓɓe on warde ɓawo ko noon développande ɗo hiɓe marno idée déjà ɓurɗo on ɗo wonde towde. T'as vu?
For a moment, Arsenal is a European club. But from the early years of the Visit Rwanda campaign, tourists arriving from the US and Canada were not just growing in number, they were spending significantly more than their European counterparts. Rwanda read that data.
Mais allez, qu'on en est film. Déjà, andi statistique jidin. Be calculi be ndari be tawi au fait Arsenal ko club européen mais ko Canada et Amérique buri wonde be addande mbudi, n'est-ce pas? Donc non no tawa kadi déjà ko wadi kon atawai deal mabbe on Europe ga yobe au fait yobe stop moto. T'as vu parce que be andi joni be doa hibe mari kadi but go joni ko yawgol Amerique.
And began shifting strategy toward the North American market. Some may question the timing, but the sequence is hard to ignore. If a European club ending a Visit Rwanda deal over human rights concerns had genuinely damaged Rwanda's appeal, American sports franchises would not have signed on within weeks. They did. That was not a
Wasitawi no ko mars ji e sabo e ono e sabotage ko jama woni yaltude critique stawi no ko dum don waduno ha contrat mabbe on annila ma lanni américain ben to signata no contrat après 2 semaines. Eh ben oui, c'est normal.
Coincidence. It was all deliberately planned. Here's it. In September 2025, Rwanda became the first African country to sponsor NBA and the NFL teams simultaneously. Officially,
en 2025, Rwanda est le premier pays africain sponsorisé des clubs de NBA et NFL. Parce que ben arrive tawi, comme halno kon kadde bi ben arrive tawi ko ton yimɓe ɓuroɓe visitoɓe ɓen ka maɓɓe woni iwrude donc ko maɓe ndaara ɓe investisira ton ɓe sponsorisira ton c'est
Visit Rwanda landed in Los Angeles. Jersey patch sponsor of the LA Clippers at Steve Ballmer's new Intuit Dome. Multi-year stadium sponsor of the LA Rams at SoFi Stadium, which is owned by Stan Kroenke, the same American billionaire who owns Arsenal. You see the pattern.
Anani, ko oɗo kadi Arsenal, ko non kadi jeyi on ɗuma, comment on appelle, est-ce que na NFL club Amérique ton. Donc andi ɓe haɓa andi contrat maɓɓe on o sekaka. Donc ɓe andi joni ɓe resign oɗo fino ɓe yaha ɓe signiroya Amérique to. C'est stratégique billahi.
The same billionaire, Stan Kroenke, owns both Arsenal and the LA Rams.
LA Rams.
And it is worth noting that Arsenal and Rwanda announced the conclusion of their partnership
in June
2 months after Rwanda had already secured brand space in the world's most profitable market, the US. The goal is clear: turning these partnerships into a multi-billion-dollar revenue machine over the next few years by establishing Rwanda as an undisputed luxury hub on the continent. Here is how they are doing it. First, they prepared their most flagship product, gorilla trekking. They doubled the gorilla trekking permit price from $750 to $1,500 in 2017, making it the world's most expensive permit to see gorillas in the wild.
andi yaltugol no ya visit findargol ɗi ɗuma honno ko glorilla ka ko glorilla mi anda hari avant c'était comment on appelle hari avant c'était 750 déjà là $750 mais maintenant ko $1,500 gila ɓe signi fuɗɗi signude contrat ji maɓɓe ɗin donc sa yaha visit gol no ko ɗi non mbuudi yoɓata fiya waɗu ɗum non
$1,500 to go see gorillas. I'm good. Like I'm good, you know. But of course, if you can afford it, then why not?
It's very expensive to do this, but I think you get what you pay for because it's a really unforgettable experience.
Beyond the standard trek, Rwanda also offers a private exclusive trek, a fully private, tailor-made experience at $15,000 per group. The most premium option, a 3-day behind-the-scenes experience for a maximum of 3 people, costs $30,000. A premium, low-impact conservation model. According to Rwanda
Just visit ɗi ko demo ka ko honɗum ande ko jelu nadani ɓe 248 millions de dollars. C'est énorme, mon gars. C'est énorme.
travel spending in 2025. Second, Rwanda raised its hotel standards from generic hospitality to ultra-high-end luxury, the kind previously reserved for Europe or the Gulf. Rwanda is now home to Africa's most expensive hotel room. The one and only Gorilla's Nest, its top suite, the Silverback, 2,700 square feet, private pool, dedicated butler and chef, runs between $20,000 and $26,000 a night in peak season for 2 guests. On top of that sits the conference infrastructure, the $300 million Kigali Convention Center, its $100 million entertainment twin, the BK Arena, 5-star hotels including the Kigali Marriott and Serena Hotel. These venues bring in millions of dollars annually through events, summits, and international meetings. The third piece is ownership of the visitor journey itself. Rwandair, the national flag carrier, has grown from a fleet of 12 in 2017 to over 16 aircraft today, including Airbus A330s and Boeing 737s. Direct routes now cover London, Paris, Brussels, Doha, Dubai, Mumbai, Johannesburg.
Ɗi peeji ɗo city ɗo fof avion maɓɓe ɗe yaha direct goye naawugol wa escale direct parce que ça investit si ɗi mbuuɗi ɗo fop e nder wiugol ɗo joni fi yimɓe visite koma il faut aussi avoir gonga ɓe moyen de transport ko jama on ardata kama a wata finansude ɗum ɗo fof to wata ko on tiko ar ƴetta Air France ma goɗɗum go fi yawgol kama ko yo ƴettu kadi avion ma on mbuɗɗin arta kadi kama t'as vu donc tout ça pour dire ça micciti ke a taway min mi wiyata kodduri e ma ɗum ɗo e ɗum ɗo e ɗum ɗo he il faut travailler il faut étudier min noon mi jangaka mi jooɗi ɗo koye miɗo haala mais expérience on hollilan modi yo jama on yiɗu ka mum quoi ɗum ɗo ko noon yiɗugol ka mum t'as vu yo jama o yiɗu kam yo jama on accu gollangol hoore mum non ne éphémère e lannayi l'état état on heddoto ha ñande Allah gayni état o ha ñande Allah lanni Allah lanni adna o donc ça veut dire ça gollani la plupart du temps ɓe oɗo ñini na hoore makko woni gollande o e nder 20 ans ɗo 30 ans il est déjà mort donc ça miijiti ke no joni ko pays on woni gollande ayi Europe kadi la même chose ko pays on ɓe gollantana hoore maɓɓe oui ay ɓay toon cew koye seeɗa ko ñaama kono noon wonirta mi wata ƴettu jawle ma fo e naɓugol leyɗe goo tawata déjà un pays mi ala e fii kan mi ala e fii kan wonde simi exemple sa ndaari pays ji ko Europe ɗo comme l'Italie ou bien la Suisse sa yi pelle maɓɓe no wayi franchement mi minnayi ko fuuta hettiɗo t'as vu ce que je veux dire ko fuuta hettiɗo sika min hettike ko un pays tawata eɗen mari ndiyam ɓuuri Afrique de l'Ouest fop en ala hay courant wonɗo stable. Imaginez ça. Joni non ala ɗen je sais même pas comment sa yi siga ɗi piiji ɗo kaka ma tum falanteɗa siga ɗi piiji ɗo mais tawata agon e gurdam maɗa ɗum ɗon ittu ɗum ya hoore ma quoi mais c'est magnifique franchement c'est magnifique.
Nairobi, Lagos and an expanding African network. The focus is deliberate, high-income source markets. And 25 kilometers south of Kigali, Rwanda is building a brand new $2 billion international airport in Bugesera district. Rwanda partnered with Qatar Airways, which holds a 60% equity stake in the project. This is not a Qatari outpost, it is a regional hub. By
batterie on décharge donc je vidéo mi lanna do parce que wadi essentiel on ko heddi do ko à peu près yentu joni 3-4 minutes mais tout ça pour dire franchement eto den wakkilo den quoi stawi joni wakkilo den fi quand même wakki enen e wata go c'est l'état vraiment c'est l'état mais mo beno mari pourcentage on ko fandi wo ko wadata ton quoi pourcentage on ko fandi wo mo beno mari pourcentage on ko fandi wo ko wawata wadude ton quoi donc hay stawi ko investisse gole yimɓe fiyoɓe janggo ma darna ka iwɗa ɗon wakkiloɗa quoi parce que ñande go feƴƴa e men foti noon gara kaka men ɗon woni t'as vu allez rifche j'espère que ça va so yi vidéo mo yiɗi commenté addanolam vidéo ji ɗi mi reacta e mum merci beaucoup mais moi ta musique maintenant merci o yi joni ko mi ala jiijo ciao